happy April 1st. Happy new month. I wanted to, as we are going into a new month and closing out the first half of the new year, so the first quarter of the new year, which is the first 3 months of the year, I wanted to take some time and share some tips to help you really set yourself up for a powerful new month and a powerful second quarter of 2022. So I wrote down some tips that have really helped me in creating and setting goals, in achieving goals, in just really setting myself up for success. And so I wanted to share those tips with you guys because I know when a new month rolls around, we're excited. We're just ready to take on the month and just go for our goals. So the first tip that I have for you guys is to take a moment to reflect on the last month. And really, in reflecting in the last month, I want you to also take time to reflect in the last 3 months of the year. So based on what you were excited about for the new year, where are you in achieving those goals? I want you to think about in the last month, what were the things that you struggled with, right? And reflect on your progress, because whatever you were able to accomplish in the last month, in the last 3 months of this year, there's excitement, right? And I'm a person who believes that you need to celebrate all of your wins. So even if you didn't achieve all of the goals that you wanted to in the last month, in the last 3 months, you have had some kind of progress. So you need to celebrate that progress. And the intention with reflecting on progress is that you get to build on it and move forward into the next month with that excitement. So I would also recommend, when you're reflecting, is like, what was something that really stood out to you last month, or when we're talking about goals for the year, right, in the last 3 months, because I'm talking about the first quarter of the year. What were some moments that really stand out to you that really made you happy, or things that you did that really made you happy? And so when you are setting your intentions for the new month and setting yourself up with new goals, you need to incorporate those things that really brought you joy, that really made you happy. Maybe it was spending more time, more quality time with family. Maybe it was being able to take your kids on a trip. So when you are setting your new month intentions and your new goals, you always want to keep in mind to make sure that you also include, although we can have a list of amazing goals, make sure you include some of those things that really brought you joy. Okay, so that's tip number 1. So reflection is tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to think ahead. So your new goals for this new month in April should be in alignment to your big life goals. So if you, at the beginning of the year, if you made a vision board, a dream board, what are those big goals that are on that vision board and dream board, or even your goal list? And how can you align these monthly goals with that bigger picture? So for example, if you have, if your goal was, I'll just say you wanted to lose 20 pounds. Well, you're not going to lose those 20 pounds right away. So how can you break it down to where every month you're chipping away at that goal? And that can be really, in perspective, that can apply to anything, any goal in your life, right? You always want to break it down and make sure that these smaller goals are adding up to the bigger goals, because as you're checking these off, these are going to motivate you. You're going to be inspired and fired up to keep working towards those goals. Okay, so always think in alignment of the bigger picture. The next tip number 3, is to be selective. Be selective about your monthly goals. So what does that mean? I have an acronym that I use. And so here it is, okay? So the acronym is SMART. So S is for specific, M is for measured or measurable, A is for achievable, R is for relevant, and T is for timely. So I'm going to go through each one of those. So for specific, be very specific about your goals, because number one, when you're specific, it's almost like you put it out into the universe, and that's what you're going to attract. Not only that, it's a way to gauge your goals. It's writing it down, because the plan, if you have a plan, you're more likely to succeed in whatever it is that your goals are. Okay, so be very specific to the goals that you want to accomplish, so that you know and you can make a plan to make it happen. Okay, measurable. It has to be something you can measure. And this, once again, it can apply to any kind of goals in your life. But if you can't measure it, then you can't really attain it, if that makes sense. You need to be able to identify it, to plan for it, and to measure progress. So back to the example of, if your goal is weight loss, if you're not tracking your inches, your pounds, and taking progress photos, you can't really measure the progress that you're having. Therefore, you can't measure if you're going to reach that goal. Okay, so make sure that it's something that it can be measured, and it can be something as simple as, writing it down. You're writing it down to break it down, so you know where you're at on the next level to that ultimate goal. Okay, achievable. Make sure your goals are realistic, because a lot of times we have this at the beginning of the year. We have this New Year excitement, and what ends up happening is, it's not that you shouldn't set big goals, because you should, but you should also be realistic in not, is it too big for me, but am I willing to work towards this goal, which is more important. Are you willing to do the work to get to that goal? Okay, so be very realistic. And I have found in my own journey that when I'm realistic with my goals and I break it down to smaller goals, I'm more likely to accomplish those things for myself. R for relevant. So make sure that it's goals that matter to you, that are significant to you, not just a blanket statement like, my goal is this, right? It has to be very specific to you, to your life. How will it impact your life if you reach this goal? So making sure that the goals are relevant to you in your life, in your journey right now, right? And then T for timely. So it has to be something that is super urgent for you, meaning you want to get this done. You have a goal. I know a lot of people set fitness goals for summer. So it has to be something that's going to cause urgency within you, that's going to make you move your butt. So maybe it's you're in school and you're trying to reach that next level in your education or your job. You have to have a sense of urgency within you, and make sure that it's something that can be attainable in that time frame. Okay, so number 4 is to track your progress. So back to that, tracking your progress. So one of the things I recommend is to write down your goals, right? I should have said that at the beginning. Write down your goals. Get an agenda, get a notebook, get a whiteboard, wherever. Get on your, I wouldn't recommend on your phone, because they get lost in there. I speak from experience. So in order to track your progress, I would definitely recommend reaching out to somebody to hold you accountable. So if you made a vision board, right, you shared that, share it with someone, share those goals with someone that's going to hold you accountable, and also give you that support. So that's one of the things that I do as a coach, is I make sure that when I'm going to help a new client, and this is just an example, you can apply it to anything, but my job as a coach is to support them in the sense of acknowledging their goals, doing what I need to do to support them with how they're going to get there. But when I mean accountability is, if I'm your coach and you tell me you want to lose 10 pounds, I'm going to check in with you every week, because that's what I do as a coach. And I'm holding you accountable in that sense that, okay, your end goal is this. Where are we? Every week we're chipping away at that goal. Where are you at this week? So you have to have that accountability. And also, when you share your goals with someone, it allows you to have that extra support. Maybe in the times where you're not motivated to do work, you're not motivated to move, to make it happen, having that accountability in a sense of that extra support system is really going to help you achieve that goal. So number 5 is to allow failure. So giving yourself grace, because life happens, and things don't always go as planned. We can, be super excited and have this agenda and have all this list of things that we want to accomplish, but life is always going to be happening, and sometimes things don't get done. So give yourself grace through the process. It's part of the journey. It's part of your growth. Anytime you are challenged with a hurdle or an obstacle, know that it's just going to make you better. It's going to make you more resilient, and it's going to make the end goal even more exciting, because you know that you've had to work a little extra to make it happen. So give yourself grace. Failing at something you're doing for the first time is part of the journey, part of the transformation, part of the progress. So make sure that you allow yourself that grace. And the only true failure is giving up and not getting back up. So don't ever feel like because you tried for the first time and it didn't happen, that it's not going to happen. You have to get back up and try again. Okay. I really wanted to share these because I feel this is something super powerful. And as we're going into a new month, it's exciting. It's a lot of things. The season of spring is here, and there's a lot of exciting things that happen in the coming months. So whatever your goal is, this is just a guide or some tips to help support you in setting those intentions for yourself, to give you a lead in really cultivating these goals. Because the amazing thing about this, I just gave you these tips, is that you can apply these every month to your life. And it's not just because I'm a wellness coach, it doesn't just mean about your fitness and wellness goals. This applies to all of your goals in your life. And this is something that I've learned, but this is also something that a really helpful tool to help you create, not only the best version of you, but also your best quality life. Because when we are excited to wake up every day, when we are excited to conquer our goals, we're excited about life, and it just makes life better. It puts us in a better mood. It ultimately affects us in every aspect of our life, having that good energy. So I hope these are helpful. I hope you guys have an incredible new month. It's so exciting. The new month is always like its own vibe, right? And just a reminder that life is a journey. So do every day, I hope for you that you do spectacular things, because you are a spectacular being and you deserve to really live your best life. So happy new month.